Hi everybody, I'm Melissa with Pixie Dust Adventures Travel Company.
And I'm Easton from Easton's Edge.
And we promised you a follow-up review about Lookout Cay because we have now visited twice and we were curious whether it was going to be a little bit different and we were going to see some improvements from the preview cruise. And people have been asking about that. We're here to address that. All right, so the Pier Walk, that's a big topic of conversation. And the Pier Walk is still the Pier Walk. It is still long. They have added water stations and a lot of people have mobility concerns. There are accommodations for people with accessibility issues. So if you have problems, if you've had surgery, if you cannot walk that far, visit guest services on board Disney Cruise Line and they will help you out with a golf cart. All in all, the pier is still about a 10-minute walk, although we don't walk too fast. We like to look around, look into the water, all of those kind of things. They had somebody handing out cold towels, cold washcloths. So when you got to the other side of the pier, if you felt hot, you could grab one of those nice cold washcloths and towels before you got on the tram. The tram ride is still the tram ride. There are accessible cars. The front of each tram has accessible cars for scooters as well. People have been asking about mobility scooters. You can ride a scooter across the pier and you can get it on the tram to go over to the main area. I keep getting a lot of questions about the towels. Where do we pick up towels? There are towels, but you ride the tram over to the main area and that's where you pick up the towels at the main Boom Bay area, which is good, so you don't have to bring them on the tram all the way back with you. There are life vests all across the beach that are free and complimentary. So if you need a life vest for yourself or your kids, you can grab one of those and jump right in the water. They're very similar to the life vests at the Disney resorts and on Disney Cruise Line. There have been a lot of comments about rocks in the water, and really I think that the beach is the highlight of Lookout Cay for me. The beach is beautiful. It's soft sand, absolutely stunning. The sand is kind of pinkish compared to the turquoise water. The water was warm. You could float in it, relax in it, snorkel in it. There are rocks under the water, right?
Yeah, I definitely had a couple bump-ins with the rocks for sure, but my thoughts on that are like, you're in nature, you're on the beach. I mean, if you're gonna complain about every little thing, like, oh, well then also the water's salty and when I open my eyes, it burns my eyes. Like, at what point do you want them to just turn it into a pool? You know what I mean? Like, right? I think that it's the beach is the beach and the rocks are part of the nature that's there. They are there, look for them.
They are visible.
Yeah.
So you can see the rocks through the water. You can see the dark spots in the water when you pick your spot on the beach. So if you avoid those dark spots, there won't be the giant rocks. The good part about them is they're not just rocks. They are a habitat for the fish, for the wildlife, for the fan coral. If you want to snorkel over those rocks and those dark spots, and you'll see a lot of sea life there. So that's the good thing. Oh, and don't forget, snorkeling is for ages 10 and up only because this is open ocean. They don't have a snorkel garden yet. There hasn't been a snorkel garden set up like they have at Castaway Cay. And we address in detail, in depth, everything about snorkeling on our original preview cruise video. So we're not gonna go over that again, but you can go and give that video a watch for a lot of details we're not covering in this. There are lifeguards stationed on the beach, so that's another good thing. One of the questions I keep getting, beach chairs. Are there enough? So the answer is yes. There are lots and lots and loads of beach chairs, plenty of them. However, there are not a lot of beach chairs that are right down on the beach. And we were on the Disney Magic, which isn't one of the largest ships. And we got like the last 2 beach chairs on the beach.
Yeah, that's not to say that if a bigger ship was coming in, they wouldn't bring out more beach chairs that they have somewhere else though, because at the end of the day, we saw them picking up the beach chairs and bringing them in. So they could have like beach chairs somewhere that they would bring out more if there was more people.
They do bring in beach chairs because of the tides, but we've heard reports of there not being enough beach chairs on the beach. And there are a whole lot more on the dune kind of right behind the beach. And people say, well, I can't see the water. And if I'm sitting there, I can't see my kids playing in the water. Well, guys, I have a solution for you. It's simple. The chairs are not bolted down. Pick up the chairs, walk them across the boardwalk stairs onto the beach and sit on the beach in your beach chairs that you brought with you. So Please don't fight over beach chairs because we've actually heard of that happening.
Great.
There are plenty of chairs for everybody. There are ramps we've talked about. There's ramps from the boardwalk onto the beach. We did not right now see beach wheelchairs at this point. So if you bring a scooter or something like that, you will have to park it on the boardwalk before you get to the beach. You'll have to park it up there somewhere by the dining locations or at one of the little pull-off areas. We didn't see a lot of scooters, so.
My territory, lunch, flies. Everyone's talking about the flies, and my opinion on this is actually really similar to my opinion on the beach and the rocks. It's nature. You're outside, you're eating. It's an island. To me, the flies are just kind of like part of that. I will admit there is a hefty amount of flies because when you put delicious smelling food that's way better than everything else, of course, the animals.
But people are going to counter that there's not that many flies on Castaway Cay. But what I do want to say, because this is our follow-up video, there were fewer flies this time than there were on our preview cruise.
Yes, there were.
So it's getting better.
There were less flies, and they have like little fan things that spin around on your table to like get them away. And I think that worked great. I saw maybe one fly on my food, like while I was actually eating. So I don't think they're a terrible issue, and I think it's definitely something that they'll continue to address as best they can. To me, a bigger deal was the bees. Now, this is my opinion. I just don't think that there's anything to do about it, or that they can do about it, or that they should do about it. But I don't like bees. And on the soda machines, there were not hefty, but there were bees, right? Like, I know someone who had one like land on their hand, and I was like, I would panic. I don't like bees, I don't like wasps. That's my thing.
And see, from a different perspective here, he doesn't like them, so he noticed them. I said, bees? What bees? I didn't even notice bees because they don't bother me. I just walked up and left them alone and got my soda. But on that note, we will say one of their trouble spots is the soda machines and the ice, right?
Yes.
Sometimes there wasn't ice, so it's not fun to drink drinks that aren't cold. Sometimes the soda machines, they were struggling with a little bit and the ice cream was melty. However, I have complete faith in Disney that they're going to make it better. They were bringing out tubs of ice and either dumping them in the ice machine, or they had like a little serving scoop that they were filling the cups up with. Everyone's quick to complain, and we're trying to address those things and be honest and upfront with you about the experiences we've had. However, there are so many things that you shouldn't miss. You can't let a few complainers and people that like to make drama, because drama draws views and draws traffic in, don't let them let you miss this opportunity. You cannot miss the Junkanoo Rush celebration. The cultural part and aspects of this location are amazing if you embrace it.
Yeah.
Anything?
I think that there's a real deep connection with nature on this island or on this beach that you can get if you're here to ignore the flies. You're outside, you're in nature. It makes it feel more authentic to me.
Right. And those rocks again in the water, they're home to a lot of living things. So I felt a lot in touch with a lot more nature at Lookout Cay. It's just a different experience.
I think Disney did right by building the pier because they saved a lot of nature, a lot of wildlife that's underneath of it, and it's way better than tendering. I know a lot of people say that, oh, why didn't they just make it tender? Having seen tendering, having been to tendering, it's not fun. It takes a lot longer, and also
there's a higher chance that you won't stop.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the tender ship boats can't tender. So there's a higher chance that you will end up skipping the port. And talking about accessibility and mobility issues, those tender boats are not easy in that circumstance either.
Yeah, and same thing with the rocks. Like everyone says, oh, there's so many rocks. What would you have them do? Take them out? Because that's removing nature. That's killing a home for animals, And I think that Disney actually did right. And they did the right thing. I
do like the beach a bit better than I do on Castaway Cay because it's one big, wide, soft stretch of beach. And their nature trail is amazing. I loved exploring their nature trails, seeing the lighthouse, reading about the history of the lighthouse and the nature, and seeing the limestone formations. The limestone formations you could walk around if you want to be in touch with nature were beautiful. They were stunning. I can't wait to go back and see them again. They have wagons now, first come, first served basis, but they have wagons at the ship that if you have little ones or things you want to drag with you, you can put them in a wagon and pull that across the pier. And then you leave them and take the tram over to Goombay, where there are also wagons that you can use. And then you can do the same in reverse and leave them on the the dock right outside the ship.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the island, because I think that's a really good way for us to get input as well.
Absolutely, we'd love your input. And if you would like complimentary concierge planning assistance based on lots of personal experience and professional training, look me up. My name is Melissa, and you'll find me at PixieDustAdventures.com. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye.